What's going on, y'all? Welcome to the Plum Experience. We have another great edition for you guys. Episode 261, Road to 300, y'all. We have the phenomenal, the amazing, the talented, Miss Charron Leeper with us today, y'all.
Yes, welcome, Charron.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here.
Listen, this episode's been a long time coming, but it was worth the wait.
Yes.
You know, and we know we got the phenomenal team. We got Bree and Steve in the middle. We got Miss Brittany over here.
Hey, y'all.
Y'all know who I am. So, guys, the reason why this episode's so phenomenal because we have a serial entrepreneur, and I mean serial. If you know the word, if you don't, it means many. She's
not too many.
Not too many, but listen, you're doing your thing. You're doing your thing. So let me ask you this: so, with any great story, there's always a beginning.
Mm-hmm.
If you had to say you were as a hood you represent, what part of Cleveland are you representing?
That's so hard.
That's so hard.
But it's not Cleveland Heights.
Cleveland, okay, come on, Heights.
I'm a Heights girl.
Come on, Heights.
I grew up in the Heights, so this is very familiar to territory. But in high school, I moved around a lot, so I've been a lot of different places.
I got you. Okay, shout out to the Heights.
Here in Cleveland.
Okay, so let me ask you this: with that being said, growing up, was entrepreneurship always a thing that was prevalent in your mind, or was it something that you gravitated to long later in life?
Yeah. No, for sure. Like I think I've always been. First of all, I've always been creative. I'm naturally just a creative person.
See that.
You can definitely see it from the sweater.
Yeah, all the colors. But I think my first business was something that my mom I think she got me to do. I can't remember, but it was just selling these kente bows. They were literally like kente cloth bows, and she was just like, "Well, you could just sell them for $1," and I would just like sell them to her coworkers and things like that, and just put the money in like a manila envelope. And here's another fun fact: like I always thought about investing and always just had an entrepreneurial mindset. So I remember I used to collect Beanie Babies, and I actually
show your age now.
No, right? I mean, whatever. Do the math if you want to. But Beanie Babies, and there was a Princess Diana one that came out, and I was like,
the purple joint,
the purple one. I was like, I should really keep that. And come to find out, I think I got rid of it maybe in 2012, and it's worth over $1 million right now as a collectible. It's the most valuable Beanie Baby. And so I literally searched and tore up my whole I was like, maybe I kept that Beanie Baby. Yeah. But to think about that at that age when I bought it, I knew then that there was something God was doing inside of me.
Okay,
I'm still sorry. I'd have been rich.
So listen, right now, y'all. So we talk about. I have a Charizard card. You know, a Pokemon. It's still at my house to this day. I gave it to my son. Tell me about my son. I looked at the worth of it. It's like $50,000 right now. My son gave away to one of his friends in 3rd grade, and I think I bring him somewhere. Like, what's a year? You know, they remind him, boy. Like that could have been your college education or whatnot. But you don't know what they're gonna work until till later on or whatnot.
But I had a feeling because she was so loved. I was like, I think this is gonna be valuable. It was just such a clear thought. At that time, man, gotta stick to your.
Gotta stick to it. No, absolutely.
Stick to it.
Absolutely. So let's talk about growing up. So you already got the entrepreneur spirit inside you and whatnot. Along your path, were there jobs or things you took on that helped cultivate your entrepreneur journey as you went on?
Yeah. So my first passion is fashion design. I always thought I would be a fashion designer. But then I was athletic. I come from like an athletic family. And I remember, just getting that nudge, like, hey, if you want to go to school for free, you may want to pick up some athletic stuff. My sister played basketball. And so I ran track as a child. That was my first sport.
Okay.
But I got taller. So I was like, I'll try basketball. And I just committed myself to it. So got a Division I scholarship to Radford University. Nice. Played there and graduated early in 3 years. But when I went to college, the first thing that they said was like, you can't take fashion. That's all I wanted to do. They were like, we've never had a basketball player that wanted to take fashion.
Yeah, you can't do both.
You couldn't do both because of the way the curriculum was set up, like the design, the mannequins, the sewing, like we would be traveling so much. And that broke my heart. So I was like, well, I don't know what else I want to do. I've known that I want to do fashion my whole life. What else can I do? And I actually called my older sister and I was like, I don't know what to do. I'm literally like in the office, like, I don't know, I gotta pick a major. She's like, what about graphic design? And I was like, okay, it's close enough, I guess. And so I tried it and I'm so glad that I did. And I just took that advice because it's a skill that even, now we know how important graphic design is.
Absolutely.
Those programs back then, I was like, it'll work. And so it carried me through, ushering me into this world of creativity with technical skills,
Yeah.
and pulling my, fashion acumen, my love for art, all together, and kind of it's culminated into this kind of like creative director position where, not just dealing with the medium of digital design, but like textures, curation, environmental, atmospheric curation.
All encompassing.
Yeah, all of that.
That's dope.
All right.
So I know I'm being silly right now, but what positions did you play? Because I was like, love basketball, just all the college.
So first of all, when I started, I was terrible. I was just athletic. Oh, wow. Like I was in such good shape because I was a sprinter. So I was like, I could run faster, I could jump higher, but I had no technical skills. So I had to go to camps to learn how to shoot and dribble and everything. So it was a miracle that I got a Division I scholarship. I played power forward.
Nice.
And so I was really, really strong. I wasn't the tallest power forward, but I got the job done.
So don't be surprised if I come with the basketball and like play for your heart one day with a basketball, because I'm just being silly.
No, we could, yeah.
Yeah, okay. All right. So with that being said, okay, so then you come out of college, right? When did you start embarking on your endeavors? And when did that happen?
So I would say straight out of college, because when I graduated, it was that economic crash, so nobody could really find a job. So I ended up working at FedEx office, and I was just devastated. I was like, here it is. I get this degree. I go to school. Wow. I get out of school, and I'm working at FedEx office. Like prideful, right? Like I went to school for this. Like I would have just whatever. I think we all been doing that. Like, but then it just had to take God. Like I was living with my grandmother at the time as well, and it was just like God was like, "Well, use it to your advantage." So I noticed a lot of customers would come in and be like, do you all design this? And we would say, no, we can't. And I was like, but I can. And so I just was like sitting in my car like, don't talk to me, I'm working, just talk to me now. Call me later. Yeah. And so that's how honestly my business started.
Wow.
So my first business was Cal Creations LLC. And that actually is Perfect Pineapple, which is my head wrap brand is a DBA of Cal Creations, but that's how Cal Creations kind of started. And I was just freelancing. Before freelancing was really a thing. Like I was doing stuff for restaurants, just a one-woman show, but it was just so hard. And I was so fresh out of college, I didn't understand like how to manage the demands of the customers when they wanted something that just looked bad. And I'm just like, why do you want this? Like, no, I'm not taking like your Facebook picture and making a flyer. Like, it's not high quality. And I was just struggling with that. When people are like, well, they know you're young and they think they're paying you, and they're just like, well, just do it. But I was so connected to the craft that I just couldn't do that. But yeah, so that's how it started. Yeah.
So I got two questions. One, for all those who know what a DBA is, because I know Brittany was like, what's that? I want to make sure that she knew.
She did not.
We don't just let her roll with it. It's all good.
But yeah, doing business as DBA. Okay. So you could do doing business as, because I don't do business as Cal Creation anymore. So
so we got that out the way. And then and I love the fact that you've seen the need and you adhere to the need or whatnot. And I know a lot of artists, like you said, they're more focused on the art and on the business part. For you, how do you balance the two? Or what advice you give someone who's a creative but doesn't have the business acumen go along with it?
You have to, if you really want to live on your work and doing your work, it's just like you have to do that and kind of take pride in it. Start to look at the learning and mastering the business side as a part of the art form, so that you can take it seriously. And sometimes it's hard, honestly, just to be blunt. Like a lot of artists are just like neurodivergent. Like we can't focus. It's hard to focus. It's hard to think. We don't think linearly, which is why some of our creative genius happens, because we're not thinking in a sequential or linear way. And I think in the past that's been such a taboo, because if you're in the millennial generation, if you're an older millennial, you come from that era of like, go to school, get a job, do this. But then with the break of social media, we were in the middle of that. So it's like, oh wait, I can pivot. I don't have to go and work for a company. So then it's like, well, how do I manage my time? Because the traditional track was your time was managed for you. You clock in, you go to work, you get your salary, whatever. But as an entrepreneur, you have to create that structure. And as a creative entrepreneur, sometimes people's unspoken neurodivergence is hard to create that structure. So I would just say, I just wanted to put that taboo out there, that a lot of times people who are like starving artists or struggling artists, it's just needing that coaching and those skills to think clearly and focused to get the hard things done.
Yeah.
I was still in that, by the way. She said, you know, diversion. I'm like,
yeah.
There we go.
Another
new word.
Great.
I'm like, yeah.
I love it.
It's all good.
I love it. You're very welcome.
So listen, I know that you had mentioned that, you know, you were being presented some things where they were wanting you to make something lavish out of something that wasn't where it needs to be. So how do you tell clients no, or how do you business wise not take on every single person or every offer that comes your way? Because some just aren't going to work.
No, for sure. I think when I was younger, I was hungry for the business.
For sure.
So I didn't know I didn't really know my worth. And I think that's a process too. Like as you go through different things, as you grow, you just start to realize and accept your value and kind of walk in that. And so just not taking those clients, honestly, is the best thing to do, because it just becomes a headache. It's stressful for them. It's stressful for you. Nobody really wins. And if someone does win, it's at someone else's expense. So if you win, if they win, the designer's stressed out and is like, "Oh, I'm so glad I got that done." You know, so yeah.
No, that's good. No, I think a lot of entrepreneurs don't understand that principle. They think they got to take everything on. If they say no to someone, or don't think they take on every client that comes their way, they're losing out when actually gaining.
It's real, because I mean, imposter syndrome, we have this whole new vernacular, like this whole new vocabulary because of social media, like imposter syndrome, because we're just hyper exposed to what everybody else is doing. So yeah, I think imposter syndrome, where you may be doing a whole lot, but you don't feel good enough, so you're constantly chasing, or you're trying just to compete because you see too much and you're overstimulated, and it just could be really toxic. So you just gotta stay in your lane. That's it, and just be content. just be content, and really try not to compare. People say it's so cliche, it's not anything new, but really try not to compare your journey to anybody else.
That's so good. So good.
No, that's a good answer.
So that's one business.
Right. So that was the original way I started.
That was the gateway business, right?
That was the gateway business. Yes.
So let's talk about business number 2 or whatnot.
Okay, so business number 2 was Perfect Pineapple. So while I was living with my grandmother, she unfortunately was diagnosed with cancer. I've always been like a natural girly, so I used to have a big, lots of natural curly hair, and so it was around the time where people were trying to figure out, how do I preserve like my twist outs, my loose curls, like at night. And so there was this thing called the pineapple methodology, where you would put your curls forward and wrap them in a certain way and go to sleep, and it would preserve your curls. And so I started trying it, and it was working for me. And she gave me a scarf that had, like, I accidentally tied and knotted it, and I couldn't untie it, but I found a way to wrap my hair so many different ways with this one scarf. And I was like, what if I recreated this scarf with like a stretchy fabric? How many ways could I wrap my hair with this one scarf? And that's honestly how Perfect Pineapple was born. And then with my grandmother losing hair, I was like, okay, well, if it works for me to pineapple my hair, does it work for people with no hair? Is it an easier solution for them to cover their hair, especially with different, if you have alopecia, or if you go through different treatments, depending on the health of your scalp. Maybe your scalp is sensitive and you don't want to put a wig on, so maybe you just want to wrap. And then it was easier to wrap based on the shape. So I went with it. I pursued it. I was working in corporate America at the time, and I would wear it to work. So not only could you sleep in it, but because of the pattern or the prints or the fabrics that I used, you could actually style it to go to work. So I was testing to see if people was going to ask me questions about my head wrap.
Experiment.
So I would style it. I would wear it really nice, and I would match, and they would be like, oh, and it was just, they were kind of confused. Like, she doesn't look unprofessional.
I was about to say, culturally something.
Right, but she has something on her head that looks like a scarf, but it looks like it's a part of the outfit. And so that's kind of how it was born. Yeah.
So you killed the bonnet, basically.
I hate the bonnet. Wear the bonnet at home. Don't wear the bonnet out. Don't wear it with the pajama pants. Don't wear it in the airport. Don't wear the bonnet. Wear the Perfect Pineapple.
Come on now. Yeah. Nice segue. I like that.
Nice little clip.
We'll work it out later. But that's good. That's good.
Yeah. So So it was eligible for a patent at the time. I was struggling, didn't have the money to secure, but I was hoping that I could. And so I wasn't able to secure the patent for the original design, but I have since secured a patent on some other designs that have been unreleased. So hoping to release some new designs next year. But because of it was really hard to build. I built a brand, so I'm happy about that. Like I built a solid brand with that brand. But just the production, the manufacturing, the different ways that the price of the fabric increase, decrease, finding the right margins. It was just a lot for me at the time. In the season of my life that I was in, it was just very stressful. So I made a pivot back to my roots in 2020, back to just design work, and started an agency called Agency 33. But I didn't officially start it. I kind of incorporated it and was still praying about it because I felt God was leading me there, but I was like traumatized. I was like, I don't want no more clients. I don't want to talk to people. I don't want people to tell me to make it look like this. I don't want to, but it's a gift. So I went back to it.
So question, I want to go back to Perfect Pineapple because looking back now, if you had to do it over again, what would you do first, or what would you do differently with starting that again? Would you say is it perfecting the pattern, or is it building the brand first?
No, so I am so thankful for that business. Like that business is solid. Like trust me, you guys are going to see more from Perfect Pineapple. I was able to connect organically with influencers. I was able to truly people are still waiting for the product. Like I haven't posted on my socials forever, and I still have maintained the mass of my followers.
Come on now.
So I would not do anything different. I think the only thing that I would do would be surrounding myself. I would seek out more help. I would seek out more a healthier community of entrepreneurs that I could possibly bounce some ideas off of, so I didn't get so discouraged and just not pursue those opportunities, because it's there to find a manufacturer. You can do it. It's not difficult, but I think I was just so exhausted in the season of my life that I was building that business with my grandmother, and then other things that I just didn't have the drive. I didn't have the will to just, once I hit a wall, I was like, okay, it's hard.
No, I'm about to say, I'm going to ask you about this. It's like a lot of people, a lot of entrepreneurs, they hit a brick wall. And life be lifing.
Yeah.
Right? And how would you say that you personally has helped you stay motivated in moments when life is not doing what you wanted to do? Yeah.
My faith walk with Christ is truly my lifeline. It's an umbilical cord. It is oxygen. It is just going back to those principles of the Bible and just believing what He says versus what I'm even saying to myself or what other people are saying to me has just been my rock. So just believing you can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. He's not gonna let me fail. He is my strength. The joy of the Lord is my strength. Leaning into those principles and just having faith. And it's not faith that is super optimistic. It's definitely mustard seed faith. I'm just hoping.
Today is Sunday, ain't it?
Sunday.
It's Sunday. Come on, Pastor Ron.
It might just be a breath of faith, but it gets you through. He's not a liar. So I tested him, and he's proven to be faithful.
That's good.
Yeah. Now, do you have a scripture that's your go-to scripture? When in doubt, this is the one embedded in the heart.
I feel like I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me, like the Philippians. Just because it's just a catch-all.
For sure. For sure. Works with all.
With everything. I can do all things.
All things.
I can lose this weight in the name of Jesus. I can all things.
My always been Romans 8:28. And shout out to Daz Patterson, man, because that brother is burning my head. Yeah, man. We would say I'll never forget. I got divorced. I was at work. I was in the produce section. I was boo-hooing my eyes out for no apparent reason, just because, right? And I called this brother, and that's why I to the day I die. And I called him, and we just kept saying the same scripture over and over again, so I felt better or whatnot, right? And that's why those words have power.
They do.
And I just remember we kept saying all things. And if you don't know the verse, get your Bible.
That's right. That's right.
So,
throw Proverbs 3, 5, and 6 in there while you're at it.
Look at that. That's your go-to? Come on.
Not to your own understanding, but in all thy ways acknowledge Him, and He will direct your path. That is my general one that speaks against, that's across the board. Yeah.
That's good stuff right there. No, and I'm glad we all got our own. You know what I mean? No, absolutely. And it speaks to us in that situation. And like I said, I know for me, I just kept saying it over again, so I felt better.
Yeah.
And I hope that you, the person watching, you have something in your life that does the same thing for you. In other words, we don't feel the best, or you don't feel like everything's coming together like you want it to.
Mm-hmm. And I feel like the trick of the enemy, whether it's in business or whatever conflict, is to isolate you. It makes you feel like you're the only one that's feeling it. So it makes you, especially with this comparison era that we're living in, it's like, oh, I feel this way. Once I scroll out of habit and I see how happy and joyful other people appear to look, it's like, well, maybe there's something wrong with me that I feel this way. And there's the extra layers of like self-condemnation and comparison, and all of these things that God really doesn't want us to like ruminate on and start happening. So I just want to dispel that. Like half the time, whatever, if you're crying in the shower, there's about 100,000 other people who are crying in the shower too. You're not alone.
That's a fact.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, no, and that's, I think I'm biased. I know I am. I love our podcast because I love the stories like yours where people are keeping it real. Like everyone just sees the glory. They don't know the story behind it. Like they know the adversities, obstacles that people have to go through to get to where they're at. Yeah. So no, shout out to you. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
So let's talk about, you are a master collaborator. Aww. If I can say so myself. Let's talk about how do you navigate collaboration? And how do you distinguish or discern those collaborated with?
Oh, that's good. That's such a good question.
I'll be trying. I'll be trying.
I don't think I've mastered how to navigate who and who not to collaborate with. I appreciate you saying I'm a master collaborator. I kind of want to ask you a question before I answer the question.
Okay.
What made you come to that conclusion?
Because so what people know, I'm a watcher.
Okay.
I'm a watcher, okay? Like I have the gift of being observant and whatnot, and I've seen you in collaboration with others. You might not know I was watching, but I was watching and whatnot. Okay. And you've been doing your thing. Okay. And like I said, and you know, and that's the thing about Cleveland. Everyone talks, you know what I'm saying? And not talks in a bad way, but everyone gives you high praises and whatnot. Before I met you, I heard about you. You know, so that's why I say that.
Oh wow. Yeah. No, that's humbling. No, I appreciate that because so thank you. That's really dope. Fantastic. So I would just say, like, for me, okay, and it is Sunday. I hate to kind of
no, come on now.
But like,
I got the hoodie on.
It's really like me. So the journey of entrepreneurship, you are only as successful as your like emotional and mental health, right? So I experienced that when I went through like a very, very dark time these last like two years, and you just have to. That literally is the foundation of your decision making, your discernment. So when you speak to collaboration, sometimes you may latch on to people or collaborate prematurely and then regret that because of the soul wounds that you have.
That's good.
And so I've gone through that process. So I think my biggest takeaway is just making sure that I am taking care of me emotionally. And the way I do that is through my faith. And when I'm in a collaboration that doesn't feel right, or I feel like I'm being slighted, or I feel like I'm being disrespected, like I go back to those principles of like, no matter, like as long as it depends on you, be at peace with all men. So that's the scripture. And so it's like, okay, if I know that I've done everything that I can do, despite if this person believes me, despite if they still don't like me, if I know that I have in my mind, like have been as honest as humanly possible, or done everything that I could do, said sorry, whatever, then it's over with.
Come on now.
And so that's how I've kind of like navigated those things, because everybody's not gonna like you, everything's not gonna go the way that you want it to be. But if you like stand on the principle of respect, like I don't necessarily have to like you to respect you. I don't necessarily have to like you to work with you. And also I think respect is also like giving people their kudos. Like I don't have to like your attitude, but if you're executing at a high level, like I can respect your work. So like I just try to look at it like that.
That's good. Come on now. Oh, y'all took how y'all notes out, because that's awesome. I wish everybody had that approach though. Unfortunately,
trust me, people don't do that. But if you do it, you feel at peace. Like, okay, I tried.
That's good. Because that way you're able to see better at night. Knowing that you've done everything you could on your end, and you know with some people you can't. It's no doubling back for me. So and I'm about to say, I know for us personally as the post parents, we have learned the hard way.
I have learned too.
Right. You get better after a while, because then you, like you said, you know your intentions are good, and you hope that everyone involved intentions are good. But it's not always the case.
It's not always the case, especially in the creative field. A lot of times, creative IP is so hard to hold on to. Like an idea is so fluid, it's so intangible, right? And so like, especially when you're in collaboration and you want to be open and you want to be sincere and you want to share your thoughts with other people, and people just kind of like take that. I've had to learn, like, no one, even if they copy and try, because I've had a lot of people do that. Well, not a lot of people, but some key people do that. It's like, it's never going to be what God gave you. Right. And so I'm learning to rest in that.
Yeah.
Because, you know, even Satan is a copycat. Like he copycats the originality of God. God is the creator of everything. So everything that he does is a manipulated rendition of what the original is. And so I just be like, oh,
I see she ain't coming close.
You got the generic version. That's cool. You got the generic version.
Yeah, you got the great value.
Oh, okay. You got the dubs. You got the original. I get it. It's okay.
No, that's good right there. No. And I that's so good because, like you said, I'll never forget Neil Davis said the best. He said he freely gives it out, but he's not worried about if he gives it out, someone's gonna do it because, like you said, no one can do it like you.
Yeah. And
at halftime, people they might hear the idea, like, oh, it's a good idea, and want to implement it, but once again, they don't have the work ethic that you have. Yeah. So that those two things are wrong. That's why I don't worry about it. I mean, my problem for me, and I'm talking about me personally, is that people who talk a good game and say they want to do what you do, they don't understand what goes into that or whatnot. And so I'm working on. God is still working on me.
God, for sure. We're all a work in progress. So listen, we talk about collaborations and things like that. You being an entrepreneur the way that you are, how do you also incorporate being able to do relationships? You know, like how has that realm been looking for you as of lately? Because I know that you said you went through some hardships. So, bouncing back from that, how does that look, trying to balance looking for a mate and then still doing your business?
I mean, honestly, at this point, like, I'm just not even looking. Like, I'm not, honestly, like, to be, of course, I have a desire. So the desire is there. Like, I desire to be married again. I desire to have children. But it's my word for this year has been surrender. So I feel every year I see God's face and I'm like, what is a word that you want me to carry throughout the year? And this year was surrender, and it has been so consistent. It's been so consistent. Even like close friends would be like, you just seem like you have just surrendered like so much, and I'm like, praise God. So I've just, again, leaning into the scriptures that the word says, if you seek ye first the kingdom and its righteousness, like everything else will be added unto me. And so it's like, my goal is to be like, God, I have very honest conversations with God. Like, God, you know what I want, you know how I'm feeling, but like, I can't make it happen for me. Yeah. And I've just been diligent on working on myself so that by the time God presents that person that's a great fit for, not only for me, but that is a destiny helper to get his will accomplished in this world between the both of us, between our covenant. Like, I am ready. I just want to be ready. Yeah. But child of me, because people be looking, I'll be like, oh. But it's just like, I don't know. I'm trying to stay focused, and So I mean, I could flirt with somebody like, oh, you cute, but it's like, I try not to get too caught up in it because. I'm
about to say, God bless you.
I just try not to get some willpower to just, I try not to get caught up in it. Okay. Yeah, but it's hard. Oh, for sure. That's the short answer.
Nope. That's a great answer. I'm about to say, we all relate to that, It's hard. I would say for me, I feel the same way, and I know for me, just like you said, I love how you said that. Destiny helper. I like that because one of my biggest pet peeves is when I'm dating someone like, you're doing too much. I'm like, you're not doing enough. Mm-hmm. You got to understand that I got a lot on my plate or whatnot, and you make time for things you want to make time for, but you got to understand that purpose is first, everything else is second. And if they don't understand it, does not go very far. It's not a good fit. No. So I like that. Right yeah. By the way, segue. Guys, we're not doing the entrepreneur game for Sweetest Day. We're doing Valentine's Day. So all my single entrepreneurs, no.
We'll talk off camera.
Because trying to see my eyes.
She did not. And it was a good thing you didn't, girl. Oh, what? I am no back. What? We gonna put you up front. Oh, shoot. He said that to a guest. We're not gonna put you up front. I don't know.
Hey, you never know. No, I was gonna say maybe you might want to.
Yeah, 2025. We're having a Valentine's Day dating game, basically, with entrepreneurs, male or female, where we just try to make this work. Where we can collab the two, business and love, and let's see what we can.
Yeah. No balloons are being popped.
That's right.
It will be you and 3 other suitors, and you'll be behind the curtain. You get to ask all the questions, and from based on the questions, you choose between the 3.
And then, so when you make your choice, what happens?
Then we have a caveat of dates you can choose from that we will sponsor. So you get to choose your date, your suitor, and a date all in one time, and hopefully from there,
it continues.
Sparks fly.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So, we'll talk after that.
Okay, let's talk afterwards. Okay, we'll figure it out.
That's a nice segue right there.
That was nice.
So, okay, let me ask you this. So, what do you feel like is the biggest misconception people have with being an entrepreneur that people don't get a chance to talk about?
That is easy. That happens quickly. That you should quit your job immediately. That is a lie. All three lies. Yeah, all 3 are lies. Though I think those are the 3 biggest misconceptions. I just happened to quit my job at the time. It just made sense for me. I've been a full-time entrepreneur since 2018.
Come on now.
But it's been hard. Like you want to know where your money's coming from. You want to make sure you have health insurance.
Listen.
It's all of those things. So you kind of got to just be wired a little differently.
You know, so crazy. People like you entrepreneur of the year. I'm like, I still work full time.
Right, and that's really how you should do it. Like if you can work full time and still focus on your business,
absolutely
do that, stack, invest, all of those things, and still put it. It's hard, but it's hard even without the job.
Exactly.
So Come on. Do it as long as you can until it is overflowing with the business, and you're like, okay, I can make a logical transition, and your numbers and all that stuff. If I had the opportunity to do it again, I would do it just like that.
No,
I would still be working.
No, listen, I advise everybody because these children like to eat every day. I don't know why they like to eat every day, but some Irish they do. But no, I tell everybody in a heartbeat, like, no, like, why don't you quit? Excuse me, you quit your job until my money from the business take over the money from my job. We're gonna keep rocking this job.
Right, and I mean, I might still get a job. Like, I might still get a position,
You are spitting today. Like, most people won't even say that.
Like, it's real because it doesn't take away from your entrepreneurial spirit. It's a spirit. So you're going to continue to, like, pursue what you're going to do. And especially now that I've built a foundation, it's kind of like going to get your master's after you, like, understood business. You can apply it better. So when you're going to that 9 to 5 and you have a full business and you remember those struggles, it kind of helps you perform better in your 9 to 5. You have a better why. You're more focused. So like, hey, I'm open.
Listen, it's so funny. I got promoted. I wasn't even trying. I'm like, how did I get promoted? I wasn't even trying. They're like, we won't promote you. I'm like, but it's so funny you say because I think it's because I do this or whatnot, right? And I'm like, why? Oh my God, thank you, Lord. I wasn't even trying. I wasn't even looking around. It's like, promote him, please. Like, all right.
They can use some more of that moolah to be able to,
absolutely
help fund your business and things like that. Absolutely. So is there anything in the financial realm that you probably would have did differently besides maybe, held onto your job a little bit longer? Because a lot of times too with starting, the entrepreneurship journey is the money concept. We don't think about the money and, how to fund your business. So was that something that you would do differently as well, or have used different maybe ways or sources to be able to fund the business?
Yeah, so I've only taken out one loan that was for Perfect Pineapple. So I don't have like any, I got one micro grant of like $2,500 towards Perfect Pineapple. So I've never done like a real pitch competition or anything. Okay. That's actually something that I'm going to be pursuing for Perfect Pineapple, specifically for that business. For the agency businesses, is service work, and I just know that so well. I haven't had to do anything with that. Yeah. Like, it's just been a blessing. It's just kind of my sweet spot, and that's that. But from a financial standpoint, I would love to understand accounting and like bookkeeping at the level of an accountant. Like I would love to sit down and just understand that in the numbers and just get comfortable with that. Okay. So I think if I could do it again, I would have started with understanding like the legal IP and the financials, like how do I keep and manage financially what my business is doing, because without knowing the numbers you just don't have a business, you have a hobby. And so that's what I would have done.
That's simple.
Really
now Treese, we're gonna hit you up after this.
Right. Oh, yeah. But since then there's so many programs like that are out there that are helpful.
That's true. So let's talk about one of your collaborations, Futureland. Let's talk about how did that come about? How did they like we want you? and just talk about everything we can expect this year also. Yeah, so I'm a co-founder and I've served as like the creative director since the beginning. So my agency did the branding. Come on now.
Agency 33.
Awesome job, by the way.
Thank you. So it was a collaborative effort at the beginning with another co-founder just to understand like what should the color palette look like and all of that. So I helped inform that original color palette, and he kind of laid out like the Futureland typography, and then the next year my agency kind of took it to the next level with the color palette, revamping the typography, the iconography, and all that stuff.
I'm sorry, because Brittany, she like, what is the iconography all whatnot? I seen it on her face.
So I'm gonna let me get away with this because I really didn't know.
Right.
But we're gonna roll
so
with
it's
it.
like the type. So what the Futureland font looks like.
Okay.
With the Futureland F, with the floating F, with
which is dope, by the way.
All of that stuff. So we came up with that. That was from our agency and stuff like that. So yeah, it was dope. I mean, it was just a group of entrepreneurs who got together, and it was, it's in partnership with the City of Cleveland Jumpstart and the United Black Fund of Greater Cleveland. And I just think, so we all got together. First year, knocked it out. Second year, some people made some transitions. Third year, here we are. And I'm excited to see, what we do this year and how people are impacted. Yeah. Awesome.
Well, have been last year. I was sitting in the crowd, and like for us to now be presenting this year, I think it's just phenomenal. Yeah. And thank y'all for the way. That's when y'all hit us up. Like, I think that money. You met the wrong person or whatnot,
Yeah.
But thank y'all for seeing the value in what we do here at the Public Experience. And I think we are going to bring on a great workshops for the people and whatnot.
Yeah, media is super important. And I think for me, my job, my role as creative director, I just really cared about how people felt. So the creative, how it showed up, like last year, our Thrive theme with the Technicolor plants and the silver elements and things of that nature. I just wanted to bring that freshness and that excitement to Cleveland, because I think we were talking earlier that there's just so much talent here, but people don't know that unless you're kind of in the ecosystem. So just wanting to bring that to the forefront. So brought some players to the table to help get speakers. So we had a lot of talent come out of the state last year to come and just see and speak, and so had some celebrity as well. So I don't know. I think Cleveland just deserves to be celebrated for all of its talent. And I hope Futureland is just the spark, so that as we continue on and we build the actual ecosystem in between conferences, we overall just build the city.
Come on now. So now I got a question from a creative standpoint, because I didn't even think I'm not an event planner, nor am I a creative director. I'm actually, what are the opposite of a creative is? I'm that.
Okay.
All right, as you see, just black and white, that's me. All right, I'm not as colorful as yourself. But I say that because as you're describing how you looked at the event, I'm like, that's crazy. I would never have thought color scheme, palette. I don't know what a palette is. With that being said, what do you, and I love how you said, how does it make the people feel? What to you makes an event great? I try. This is what I do best. Ask questions.
Right. Just give a little sample.
Yeah. No, I don't know. Wait, tell me the question again.
In your opinion, from a creative standpoint, what makes an event great?
What makes an event great?
In your opinion.
I think that the flow has to feel right. and the space has to feel right. I'll give those two. The space has to feel right, and the flow has to feel right. From a programmatic standpoint, I'll give those two pieces.
Okay, listen. That was enough for me. No, that's good. Cause like I'm gonna be thinking about that all night. Like, space, yes, okay. The flow,
and how you use that space.
Okay. I'm gonna looking back at the interview. I'm gonna be sounding like an expert. I'm like, yes, the flow is not going on in here, y'all. The flow, what is going on?
The wind is in.
right. It's not flowing in here. Let's get the flow going. Not knowing how to get that going. This is why y'all should tell me words. Oh, okay. All right. Okay. So we talked about that. I just love because like I love creatives or whatnot because I'm not creative. I'm not. I know my strengths and I know my weaknesses. My weaknesses I'm not creative. And I always love asking what helps you stay creative. Like because like. We had Lacey on. Lacey said that she listens to music. Some people they need silence. What helps you get in creative mode?
Music definitely always helps. Music, honestly, I think I'm most creative after I've worked out. Like when I'm working out, ideas just like come to me. Like, and I think it's because maybe I'm like getting that stress off.
Yeah.
And so like I can think clear.
That's dope.
So and just being in nature helps me think about creative things. I think another reason for that is just because I'm doing something. I'm walking. I'm just experiencing. I'm looking at just creativity everywhere. So those things help. Yeah.
That's good. What's your go-to album if you listen to music though?
That's a hard question.
It's a hard question.
Go-to album, Alex Isley.
Alex Isley in the house.
Marigold album.
Okay, look at you. Okay, a little soul.
I'm definitely mellow, like a mellow vibe.
Like that.
I'm like romanticizing life in my head. I'm driving in my old car because I got a 2011.
Come on now.
Okay, paid off.
There we go.
Come on. And I want a new car, but it's paid off.
There we go.
And I just be cruising that car thinking I'm just in my dream car, just listening to my albums. I romanticize life. I really do.
No, that's how it should be done, right? That's so good. Yeah, no, because like I said, for me, when I'm editing, because I be editing this joint and whatnot, I got in the background, I'll be having 16 going. TV, I'm not watching you, but the TV got to be playing. TV got to be playing. I got music going on here. I got Facebook playing videos in the background, and I'm still in it all at the same time. By the way, I don't know why. No, but who we had somebody on and said it's called distractive chaos, something like that. Something he called her and whatnot. And I was like, dang, that's so crazy because that's what I need. Silence, it will get me. I don't know why silence. I can't do it while it's silent. So I don't know. I'm coming with guy.
No,
you just you.
Yeah.
No, thank you, ladies.
Yeah. I can do silence too sometimes.
You can?
Yeah, I can. Sometimes if I'm like writing, if I really have to focus.
Okay. So let me ask you this. With that being said, what inspires you to keep going forward?
Right. What inspires me to keep going forward? The desire to want to leave a legacy.
Ooh.
The second is knowing that God has put so much inside of me that I haven't shown to the public.
Yeah.
I probably, I do in my private time or discover in my private time, but haven't like lend those gifts to the world yet. And finding solutions for other people.
I love what ETS said. He said, "I'll leave this earth on empty."
Yeah. You know what I heard though, which is so crazy. It's a little deep.
But
it was kind of like, that methodology or like the philosophy, I should say, around like dying empty is like not real because of the fact that from a biblical standpoint, like Jesus only walked this earth and was here for 33 years. His ministry was for 3 years. Do we believe Jesus could have done much more if he would have lived? Yes. Wow. But he fulfilled his purpose. So it's not about dying. Okay. It's like there's a difference between like skills, like talents, and like purpose. Yeah. Is what I was, as I recall it. It's like Jesus fulfilled his purpose, but do we think he used all of his skills and talents? No. And so it's just like the Lord just gives you this arsenal to choose from because we have free will and there's so many pathways to get to like your purpose. But don't think that if you haven't done every single thing that you are physically capable of doing, that you died and did not fulfill the calling or the purpose that God has given to you. It's a little different. But I remember hearing that. Because it goes back to like the whole striving mentality of like, I've got to but it's like, what if you were just meant to speak to that one person and they were going to do these things that are front facing, but you actually did the thing you were here to do, but nobody saw it. It's like, it's almost, does that mean that you didn't fulfill your purpose? I think like learning how to be content in the small things while also having like a healthy ambition is just an art form in and of itself. So yeah.
That's so good.
I just wanted to, cause like,
no, it's good.
Yeah, I want to die as empty as I can. Like I want to do everything I'm supposed to do, right? You know what I'm saying? I don't want to die with like stuff that I know I should have done, but I, yeah.
I believe that, and the reason why I say that because I should be dead. And a lot of people don't know. Brittany knows. Or not. You guys can see the scar on my chest, right? Yeah. I had open heart surgery. I should be dead, literally dead.
Ooh, wow.
I should die twice. And I say that because I don't believe I didn't die because I had something I had to do. And like people say that, but I mean that when I say that. And I'm like, because long story short, when I was in the hospital, I was recovering. The guy who was in the bed next to me, he had got shot in his leg. He was walking around perfectly fine. I'm in the bed, half dead, right? He was the bullet traveled from his leg to his heart. He died the next day. And mind you, he was walking around talking to friends, family. They up there high fiving everything. He's fine. Next day, he's dead. I literally just got up from surgery, chest still wide open, still recovering and whatnot, and I'm here now. And I say that because I never minimized that, and that just made me think about like you were absolutely right. Because if God the purpose for you, He's going to keep you around to fulfill that joint, whether you want to or not.
For sure, right? And it might not look like you may be able to sing. I'll give a perfect example. Like I love to sing. I can really sing, but do I think my calling is a singer? No. But what God uses that for is, I remember, I call him my stepdad, but I remember his mother was passing away, and I just started to sing to her on her last, like, and she just, that soothed her, and she started to say, keep singing. Now, if God didn't give me that talent to sing, I wouldn't be able to use that for what He wanted for her. So it doesn't mean but if I'm not Whitney Houston, if I'm not performing, does that mean that I'm dying with that talent? No, it's used at the capacity that God has called it to be used. And all of it, I think, because we think success is so front facing, it's not all for the public to see. So yeah, that's good.
I did not expect the episode to be so deep.
Yeah, that's true. I am that person. Y'all didn't know, but I knew. I was like, they're going to ask me this question. I got a lot. I got a lot on my chest. I've been thinking about a lot. I've been through some things. I got some stuff to share.
Listen. That's why I love our podcast. You do reverse Cat Williams, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
you know?
Not the reverse.
So no, that's good. And I'm glad we can ask questions like that have perspective and depth to it, you know, be introspective and whatnot. I put a big words out too, you know what I'm saying?
I feel you. We love it. Yeah, that's deep though. That you like word, like that's a huge testimony.
Yeah. No, a lot of people don't know, because a lot of people they don't know until you tell them or whatnot. Because people don't know. I was literally dead. I died twice or whatnot, right?
Miracle.
No, listen, and like you know how the church say you don't look at you don't like what you've been through. No one knows.
Yeah.
Like I think Brittany only knew it whatnot, right?
Wow. That's right.
Yeah.
Well, now we know.
But not the world know whatnot.
Praise.
But it is what it is and whatnot. But I say that to say because like I don't tell enough people, but I probably should do it more or whatnot. I think about it because God is good.
He really is.
And I don't minimize that. And I think about that because like everybody, where the spirits come from? I'm like God. No one else but me knows that story.
Yeah.
And I do a better job of it. Shout out to Dad because he said it to me one time, bro, why don't you tell more people about that? I'm like, I don't want anybody in my business or whatnot. But I'm thinking about now as we're talking here. Once again, God is using you to be able to
encourage.
Yep, to encourage. So yeah, shout out to that.
Yeah, no, like my relationship with Christ has been like something that's I've held dear, and I used to be ashamed of it because of the fact that like people think there's such a bad rap with Christianity, or such, and rightfully so for so many different reasons, but and just also as a creative and being in the church and seeing certain things that like you don't agree with or you're trying to figure it out, I was always searching for a way, like, how do I remain authentic but still like give God the glory for real? Because like
that's good.
the facts are the facts, and He's just good, and His word is like really true in my life, right? So that's why my most recent endeavor is kingdom culture, which is
I'm gonna transition into that.
And that feels like super, like that feels like me being very obedient. It's not something that like, it just feels like an obedience move for me.
So let's talk about how did that come to be, because me and Brittany both had the opportunity to come when you guys were in Credit Space and whatnot.
Oh, really?
Oh my
God!
Yeah. My sister, she was a vendor there and whatnot, so I made sure to support her and whatnot. But yeah, we both got a chance to be there, and just it was packed out. By the way, it was packed out, and it's amazing to see that many young people. Just worshiping together, fellowship together, and it's not a concert. You know what I'm saying? Well, kind of
it gave you the nighttime vibe.
It really did,
but for God's glory.
But for God's glory, absolutely.
You gotta respect that.
So how did that come to be? Because I know a lot of times creatives, influencers, entrepreneurs, they have a conflict. They believe if they stand on Christ, they'll lose followers, they'll lose business, they'll lose people, whatnot. Versus being the other way around, if you're creating community, you're creating, just creating a place for you to be authentically you.
Yeah, no, for sure. Like it came about kind of like 2011 when I was really trying to figure out like how can I want to vibe, you know what I'm saying? Like some of the music just wasn't vibing. It was like that era of Lecrae and Andy Mineo and all of those people that really like pushed the boundaries. And I was like, what? This is something I can listen to while I'm working out. Like where we need more of this. And I was like, still want to go to the club. There's the feeling of going to the club just feels so much fun. And I'm like, but I feel so convicted because of the words that I'm singing, the music that I'm listening to. So it honestly started way back then in my heart, but I didn't know how to execute that. Like I was still young, living my life, just trying to figure it out. But it really was about creating not only just atmospheres that I could have fun in, but also like clothing, because fashion is my first fashion. So I was like, well, there should be like a clothing line. Like I don't want to feel like I have to wear certain things, all of that. So it started then, and then again, 2020, a lot was made very clear, and it was like God was like, you should do it. And I'm just like, well, now we've got Joyful Noise in Florida who's killing it. There's so many other movements. I was like, there's really no reason for me to do this, but he still just pushed it on me, and I'm just took an obedient step this year to just do it, because I was determined that because of the word surrender, like I was just going to do my very best to do whatever I felt like God was telling me to do. And that is one of those things. And so it's not scary, but it just takes faith.
It does.
You don't know people are going to show up. It's for Jesus unapologetically. So there's so much that goes with that. People thinking like, oh, that's, just all the things that go with that.
Yeah, no, it's so new. And once again, like, I don't know too many, how can I say, because like, we going, I grew up in the church and whatnot. I remember back in the day, teen church was, right,
it was so weird.
It was so weird. You like, because like, and shouts to Lecrae, and I tell people all the time, I listen to Lecrae like I listen to Kendrick or J. Cole.
Yeah.
There's a difference between a Christian rapper and a rapper has to be a Christian. It's two different things, right? He can actually rap.
Yes.
Yes. And I say that because back then when we had Christian rappers, I was like, I don't want to listen to that.
Yeah,
right. But like my kids, they love Lecrae.
Yeah, KB.
Shout out to them and whatnot. And I say that because Kingdom Culture, I feel like it's great for millennials, Gen Z, because like you can be still you. You're not deviating from who you are, but you can still be authentic yourself and still worship God.
Yeah. And it goes back for me, like the ethos of that is just like creativity originates with God. So it goes back to what I was talking about, where like everything that we see from like the lottos to the like, just not to down anybody, but just everything that we're seeing in the music industry with the extravagant hair, the colors, it's just been manipulated to push an agenda, to be overly sexualized, but at its core, the 808, the beat, what gets you moving, all of that stuff comes from. It's just a good thing that was perverted, right?
Yeah.
And so it's like, well, let's get back to the good thing.
Come on
It
now.
originates with us, so it shouldn't be hard for us to duplicate that. And I just want to push that agenda that like God is the original. So to deviate from him is to be watering down what you're actually doing, and just believing that for myself, because I drank the Kool-Aid too to think cool is this, but who said that was cool?
Yeah.
Like who? Like how did we make that cool? And then what are the parameters of cool? Are the parameters of cool, you know, what society says? Is it force feeding yourself toxicity? Or is cool actually being healthy? Is cool actually understanding how to have a loving relationship? Is cool actually being able to reconcile? So it's changing. That's why it's called kingdom culture, because we've adopted a worldly culture, but I'm not from this world. I don't serve this world. I'm from a heavenly kingdom. So I am recreating and representing the kingdom culture here. And it's a ministry that ministers to me. It's something that I've just always wished I had. And so.
Listen, and that's so dope.
Yeah.
And what the adage is that if you don't see it, create it or whatnot, or if you do it better, do it. And like I said, we had the honor of being
so
part of the first one or whatnot.
Sure.
Yeah. And I'm gonna say, we gotta go tell what the next one is.
So we just missed the one that they had
in
Columbus.
Yeah. But October 12th at Creative Space.
Come on now.
Get y'all tickets. Pull up. Get your cousins. Bring your friends. Bring everybody. You don't have to be a Christian to come.
Yeah.
Just come. Just come.
Just come. Listen.
Yeah.
And listen, y'all see us there. We're gonna be up there doing
Jesus,
right?
We got some we're really trying to get some good things lined up. We got some great vendors popping up. We got a collaboration in the works to bring people there. And honestly, we've only started in April, y'all, of this year. Like our first event was April that y'all went to, and so it's very new.
It was dope,
very fresh, and the response has been amazing. Even from other places in the city or in Ohio.
So basically, y'all started a movement.
We tried. Pray for us.
Absolutely.
Sure.
Come on now.
Yeah.
And I love that everything that you have created is an extension of your creativity and of your personality.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking of entrepreneurs. I've heard a lot of entrepreneurs say, "Don't do that. Do something that you're good at and stick to that or whatnot. Not try to." Because I feel like as people, we need to do something that's going to keep us creative, keep us healthy, keep us stimulated mentally or whatnot. And everything seems like to me that you create it does that for you.
I'm super grateful. I think like it takes these moments for me to really like see it. Like in the midst of it, I'm just like going. Like after this, I gotta go home. I got like a logo to do, and I don't like to get behind the computer anymore in design. I like to find talented designers. Be like, hey, here's the vision. Can you? But this project, I'm actually doing it myself. But I'm so grateful. That's why I'm grateful for this opportunity, because I think when I start to tell people the stories, it just clicks for me.
Come on now.
Yeah, this is so good. Like,
no, listen. So it's funny because we're gonna go to the story because we supposed to have Charron a little bit away.
Right, the devil was trying to stop
he was trying to stop it.
And it was my fault because I had a typo. Because I moved too fast.
You're good.
I put a typo in the thing, and then I was like,
but I'm grateful. You know what I'm saying? We got it together though. I'm like, we'll get you. We'll get you a podcast. So no, we are grateful to have you on here today. So let me ask you this. So what does the future hold for you? What could you expect in the future from Miss Charron?
Well, I don't know. Okay. What I hope is in the future is a husband. I hope with kids. But from a business perspective, I pray that God continues to grow the ministry Kingdom Culture that He's given to me, that the agency grows, that I'm able to. My goal with Agency 33 is to put hidden talent at the forefront. There's so much talent, so like contracting folks to do projects, because a lot of times I have connections, but I'm not necessarily like the skill behind it. So it's like leveraging like my connections to say, oh, you value my perspective, you value my creative direction. Let me put a creative in position on this project to do this thing. So just growing the business that way.
You need somebody to do reels. You know somebody.
Oh, I
Yes.
Okay, I was just want to throw it out there.
Like, you know, yeah, and then with the head wrap brand, just want to scale that, really have it in stores, really have it out there. And I don't know, I have some other, desires.
Yes,
Yeah.
right.
Okay. Yes, ma'am. IP, I got you. No, I was listening to her interview. I'm like, IP? I'm like, okay, what's IP or whatnot? My antennas went up. I know it is. I'm joking with you. No, I don't. But it's cool. I'm just joking. Okay, with that being said, everyone knows this portion of the podcast, we ask everyone these questions because each one is special, like a snowflake, right? Everyone is different. But, and this, I feel like this question is appropriate for you because you're a master collaborator. With that being said, how do you feel like we can change the narrative of Cleveland not being a collaborative place? Because to me, in my opinion, I feel like Cleveland's been through a renaissance. I remember one time, entrepreneurship was only like 3 names you can think of. Now, I probably can name 100. Or 261 of them now. Yeah. Well, that being said, but how do you feel like we can continue that effort of making Cleveland a place for collaboration?
I think that Cleveland can be a place of collaboration. I don't know. It's such a good question. I tried to think of an answer.
You good.
I think Cleveland can be, the way that we make Cleveland a more collaborative city is by letting go of false success.
Ooh-wee.
And really operating in like your area of genius and respecting others who do that. I think trying not to scale too fast, trying not to I think that's it. I think Cleveland is like a city town. When you go to New York, when you go to there's people who are really doing it. You cannot false flag in New York. It's like either you really doing it or you're not. Yeah. Here, it's like we're not sure who's really doing it or who's not. And I just think I think because people's desire to be successful often has them walk with an inflated ego and they try to put themselves in a category as better than when they're missing out on those opportunities to collaborate, and they're causing friction with people who really would be great partners to them. So I think if we could just all get like a collective attitude check and just say, hey, and be more vulnerable, like, I'm really not good at this, but you're really good at that. Like, could you help me? And like, I'm really good at this. Like, you should put me. But it's just about a collective like attitude check. Like, just I don't know. Does that make sense? Like,
did that a couple times. That makes excellent sense. For you to come off the dome with that joint.
Right.
I bet you freestyle that joint. Like, give me a minute. Boom.
Got it.
But I just love how you said a false sense of success, and like we see it all the time. And it's not a shade on anybody, but like you said, we all gotta have an ego check. That's why I joke around a lot, but I will never be that person. Like like just like we are number one because we're persistent. That's why I say our secret sauce is nothing else but that or whatnot. We have not one great thing, but that's one thing we're great at. But I will never take away from any other podcast in the city because, like you said, I want to collaborate with you all. Yeah. But I know a lot of people don't feel the same way about us. But it is what it is.
Yeah.
But I love that.
That's why I was so humble where you were like, I'm a master collaborator. I was like, that's dope. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just feel like I'm just trying.
No.
And I like to stay in that space because it just keeps me hungry. I try to find a balance in that so that I'm not like have a false sense of humility to be like, oh, just for me, I'm not. But no, I'm good at things. But so I'm finding a balance. But I just think more people need to just be a bit more humble.
Yeah. And you're absolutely right. I mean, Cleveland, and like I feel like once again, I feel like the old ways are dying to make way for new things in the city and whatnot. And shout out to us. We the adults now. Y'all never should let us be adults. We're coming through. We knocking the door down. You know what I'm saying? Get out the way, old heads.
Right.
Gatekeeping, get out the way.
Get out the way.
Get out the way. Because now we bulldozing you out. And we coming in.
We want to collaborate.
We coming to collaborate. Right. That's right. Come on. I'm sorry, I got pumped for me. Bring it back to our regular scheduled program. With that being said, because I know everyone watches our podcast, right? With that being said, who would you like to collaborate in the future? What entity, what corporation, what person would you like to collaborate in the future? I know they watch it.
Yeah, so I would love to collaborate with Blitz Bazule. He was there at Futureland last year. I would love to work with him. I would love to collaborate with Tyler Perry.
Come on now. I know you watch Tyler Perry.
I would love to collaborate with so this is a funny thing.
Okay.
I don't know if I can say this on camera.
Well,
I don't know. Sure. So if I can't say this, I blame my great uncle because he recently turned 70 and he told us that I am the 5th cousin to Beyonce.
Oh, come on.
Like, we're related. And I was like, oh.
Come on.
Are you sure? Okay.
How long did it take you to tell us that?
It's a family secret that
we're related to Beyonce.
Celebrities could be able to be told this information.
So, like, I don't know.
I can see it.
Disclaimer. But she supposedly is my 5th cousin.
Come on, cousin.
So I would like to talk to Beyonce.
Okay.
I would like to meet you.
And like I believe Beyonce watches. She's like, what's going on in Cleveland? I'm gonna watch that podcast. What's that pull up speed? I'm gonna watch that.
That episode 261.
I would love it.
Right.
There's something about that number.
I would like to talk to her, talk about some Jesus.
Come on, listen. Come on. Come on now.
It's coming. We speak it now.
Right.
That's right. Kingdom Culture. What's her thing? Ivy Park or something like that.
We just need to get her. You know what I'm saying? I just want to have a conversation. I just want to know where her head's at. I just want to know.
Yeah. Okay.
That's valid enough. Let's do it. Let's make it happen. So listen, when it comes to legacy, I mean, your legacy is going to be one to be talked about for ages and ages. Absolutely. There's no doubt about it. So listen, when it comes to legacy though, what would you like the legacy to be for you as an individual and then the legacy for everything that you have business-wise under your belt?
Yeah. I would like my legacy to be that everyone who really encountered me, like that I left a really positive impression on them, that like it was something intangible, something authentic, something that like inspired them to be better in whatever way. Like even if they didn't like me, I want them to know, like undeniably, like she did shift the dynamic for me.
Let your enemies know.
I would like that to be my legacy. And then in terms of like the businesses, I just want them to be successful. Like I want to be able to employ people. I want families to have stories of like, you gave me this job and I was able to provide this and then I built this, like I just really want it to be like, something that really helps people, from the kingdom culture, from a faith-based thing all the way to like the practical, like with the head wrap business and just creatives that, maybe expanding the network to where they're like, you gave me a chance and now they're doing amazing things when I'm old and they're the top creative director and all of these other types of things. Like, I just really want the reach to be generational, just generational. Like somebody's mom tells their kid, I had a mentor. Her name was Charron. Like, I want it to be like that.
Yeah. Come on.
Yeah.
That's a great legacy.
That is. Awesome one. So listen, he been lighting that thing up
all day. Let me play over here.
No rest. But for valid reason, because it's been an awesome episode just to hear about your journey, just to hear about the ups and downs, because you kept it real with us, and I appreciate that. And I'm sure those that are viewing, those that are listening, can also appreciate the authenticity of what you've given us today. So if we were to take it all and put it together and have to summarize, it will be 3 key takeaways someone should be able to gather from today's episode.
You've been getting the gems.
For sure.
3 takeaways from this episode would be number 1, God is real and God is good.
Amen.
Number 2,
I love the pauses because the pause is gonna come so far.
For sure. And it haven't been number 1. So I like that.
That's right.
Uno.
Number 2, number 2 takeaway would be content on your journey. Because you are truly where you need to be just stay focused on that. And then number 3 would be you don't have to like someone to respect someone, and you don't have to like someone to collaborate.
Well, you hit that one.
Just get the job done. Yeah, and make something great.
Come on now.
Yeah.
Come on now.
Simple as that.
That is some great takeaways.
Oh, this was so great.
Like, this is amazing. Awesome. Great way. I mean, you brought Sunday sermon with you. We wasn't expecting that.
Wasn't that? And you bring some words that you're going to need a dictionary for, by the way.
For sure.
They're going to be like, what was that word?
For sure. Trying to throw me at the second time. I said, well.
Y'all silly. I can't. Y'all silly.
So this is the most important question of the whole interview. Where people learn more, where can they get their pineapple wraps, where can they know about kingdom culture, all that good stuff.
For sure. Okay, so Perfect Pineapple. So on IG is Perfect Pineapple Wraps on IG, www.perfectpineapplewraps.com, online. Agency 33, child, we've been working. We're going to get our website up. We ain't got it up. And we got our feed. It's Agency 33 _, because someone actually took our logo when we started. It was wild. So there's 2 versions of this on Instagram. I don't know how this person got the logo. They made a fake page, so we couldn't grab it.
For sure.
I know. I'm still trying to figure that out, because I'm like,
forgive me.
How'd you get that? So yeah, so it's Agency 33 _ is the official IG, and we're getting that up and running. And then Kingdom Culture is Kingdom Culture CLE. You'll find us there, and then our website is kingdomcultureworldwide.org.
And so, guys, as you're watching this episode, right, we're showing us all the information to learn more, be a part of the movement, all that good stuff.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Thank you,
thank
madam.
You.
This is an interview well worth the wait.
For sure.
Part 2, we on pull up at Kingdom Culture or not.
Yes. Yes. Oh my gosh! Please, let's make it happen.
Oh yeah, come on, we already there.
Okay, perfect.
It's already done. So we got to pay some bills real quick, y'all. Guys, like I said earlier, we are not doing Sweetest Day, Entrepreneur Day again. We're going to do it bigger and better. We're going to bring back. So originally we had a Valentine's Day, Steve. We're bringing it back, okay? So just stay tuned for that great information. If you're an entrepreneur who is single, and you I'm looking for someone who understands this entrepreneur life, don't worry, we got you covered. So listen, stay tuned for great details for that. Next up, guys, November 10th, we will be having our last Let's Talk About a panel discussion where we talk about mental health and entrepreneurship. Talk about those who, and even if you're not an entrepreneur, just if you have been dealing with anxiety, stress, overwhelmed, just as statistics show that during the holiday season is when we see the most suicide throughout the year. And it's because people are coming to grips with the fact of whatever you've been dealing with is now being magnified. We're going to have health professionals. We're going to have, mental health professionals. We're going to have resources. We're going to have just things to help you through these troublesome times to help you prevail. So please be on the lookout for that. We have the final details for that, but tickets are up. We will be at the 4 Bistro, and it is November 10th. That's the Brittany.
All right, y'all. And make sure you guys tune into my podcast, Beauty Told. Again, having great weekly episodes where I have a great guest on. We either talk about relational, lifestyle, or financial advice. Again, just trying to help you avoid the pitfalls that we had to unfortunately endure. And if it can bring about a positive change, we know that it was a story well told on Beauty Told. So I can't wait to see you guys there.
If you guys rock with us, I know you're going to rock with Brittany. Stop blaming me. Okay?
That's right.
And then, guys, the gang, we will be at Futureland October 10th to the 12th. We want to see you there. We want to see you get your tickets now because they have a great special right now. I think it's $6.99 if I'm not mistaken. So around there. But I know we got buy. We got buy one for free.
Just check it in.
Yeah, get your ticket. Yes, get your ticket. And we want your ticket because it is a phenomenal way to network, learn, and just expand not only just your knowledge but your network also. So yes, be a part of it. And then especially because we're going to be there teaching, guys. We're going to have our amazing workshop on why every business needs a podcast. Okay, so please be in the building. We're going to be teaching, and everybody will be like, "What are y'all going to teach about podcasting?" Well, this is it. This is our debut. So get your ticket, okay? Lastly, guys, we want to thank you. Thank you. We can't thank you enough. You the person watching, you the person listening, because as of right now, and this is why if you want to talk about numbers, this is where God going to help me and whatnot, because I can be getting real Kanye up here or whatnot. Because when we talk about numbers, let's talk about them, right? Because right now we're at 17.8 17,000 subscribers. I'm about to go 0.2, but just know 17,200 subscribers, and then we are 7.8 million views. Now, the reason why it's so phenomenal because we're talking about Cleveland, Ohio. Our the people we have in the are great people in Charron, but these are great people in the city of Cleveland. And mind you, guys, our demographic is not Cleveland. It's people outside of Cleveland that are looking to hear great stories like these. So I say that because humbly, one, God is good. But then two, because you guys letting us know you guys want to hear a great story like this one. So do me a favor, continue sharing, and subscribing. Keep telling your mama, keep telling your uncles, keep letting them know that the Pillow Experience is really where it's at. So we want you to guys continue that and just thank you, because we couldn't be here without you guys.
That's true. And shout out to our team.
Yes.
Shout out to our team. We have a phenomenal team.
The best team in the world.
Not overlook that.
Yes.
And their information is listed below, from Steve to Bree to Sam with hosting to the kid with the 2U wines. Delicious wine, by the way.
Delicious wine. Yes.
So we would not be the Pull-Up Experience without them.
Absolutely.
So make sure y'all go in, click in, tune in, pull up on their websites and whatnot. Yes, thank you. Appreciate you, Queen.
Brittany, Jordan, I'm pimping. Shout out to Brittany, man. Because listen, y'all understand why you gotta have great holes.
Yes,
because like you know what I'm saying. Because when I be slipping up, she be helping me out. So
right. You gotta have each other back, man.
That's right, guys. So episode 261, y'all. Roll to 300. It is happening so fast, and we couldn't do it without y'all. So we will see y'all next week. All right, peace.